conspiracy theories that actually have truth at the bottom of them. The Corona relief bill the president signed last month contains a provision that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. It directs the Director of National Intelligence, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense and the heads of other agencies, to disclose what they know about UFOs within 180 days. So what are they going to tell us? Nick Pope is an expert on this subject. He's former UK Minister of Defense. He's an official of the UK Ministry of Defense. He joins us tonight. Nick, thanks so much for coming on. What do you think we're likely to learn? Will they obey is the first question. Will they actually tell us what they know? And if they do, what will they tell us?
Well, this is going to be a very interesting year for UFOs, that's for sure, Tucker. And yes, they will definitely have to produce this report within 180 days, so we're going to get this by late June. It has to be unclassified, but can have a classified annex. So the answer, what the public will get, maybe not a lot, but what the Senate Intelligence Committee, the Armed Services Committee will get, hopefully a whole lot more, and hopefully some answers to these questions that we've been asking for months now. What is going on in our airspace? What has the US Navy been encountering? And what is it that has been in these classified briefings that we know some senators have already had?
What do you think they're likely to reveal?
Well, it's interesting because Senator Marco Rubio said he would almost rather this was alien, because if it turns out to be China or Russia, then we're in big trouble, because the sorts of speeds and maneuvers and accelerations that these objects are capable of really is concerning. And I hope that we're going to find out about that. It's interesting, just before Christmas, there were some leaks. Sitting in Office of Naval Intelligence is an organization called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. They're probably the ones drafting this report. Some leaks suggest they have not ruled out the extraterrestrial hypothesis.
Yeah, and there may be physical evidence of the existence of these craft, whatever they are. Have you heard that?
Yes, I've heard talk of so-called metamaterials, and I think this report really will have to disclose. I mean, what the Intelligence Committee want to know is everything in government is fragmented. They want to know who knows what. They want a single official named and put in charge of all this. And this is going to include FBI, by the way, as well as the military and the intelligence community. We want answers.
Yeah, and I don't want to wait till June. Why don't they do it tomorrow morning and finally declassify the rest of the Warren Commission report while they're at it? And this is just nonsense. And I appreciate your help on this. Hopefully we'll find out very soon. Nick,
thank you.
Great to see you.
Welcome to our episode of Paranormal Awakening, or Scientific Researchers of the Unknown. We are here with the president from Scientific Researchers of the Unknown. Also, links to his channel will be down below in the description. And so make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Super awesome content from their channel. And so we were supposed to have an extra guest on, but due to some things, I do not know if they're going to be able to make it or not. So if they appear halfway through this meeting, then they appear. But if not, then it's okay. I'm not, going to be too pushy about that. But anyways, we're here now, and we decided to do the podcast anyways. So Carson French, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself after.
Hi, everybody. My name's Carson French. You might have heard of me from the show Scientific Researchers of the Unknown. And I'm also the host of the podcast Scientific Radio of the Unknown, which Scott here has been on a few times. So, yeah, I'm just ready to get in and talk about some interesting paranormal topics, because that's what I love to do.
Yeah, so today's topic was originally about, it's called, hold on, it was, I don't know the exact pronunciation of it, but
Petroglyphs?
Yeah, petroglyphs, yeah. But, it's really interesting because in Yosemite, they really have a great place for a lot of rocks and that sort of thing. And I really think it's interesting that in Yosemite, where you are, there's a lot of that. uh, and possibly you as a researcher might be able to find some of those petroglyphs because it could be a native land because it's a national park. So I don't know if you've seen anything while you're there regards to petroglyphs, but Carson, let me know what your thoughts on petroglyphs are and how they sort of relate to UFOs, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or Dogman, or ghosts.
So, currently, I've only been here. This is my um, third day here. So, I haven't really done much exploring outside of the valley. Um, Here, I can show you where I am right now if I can flip my camera. There we go. So, I'm in the Yosemite Valley. As you can see, there's Half Dome over there, and right here we got Yosemite Falls. So far, what I've done is I've kind of scouted out the area in the valley. I found some interesting buildings that could be um, some paranormal locations. I haven't run any tests yet because I still haven't scouted out the entire valley yet. But once I do that, I'm going to create a list of all the locations I need to um, look at and investigate there. And then after that, I'll venture outside of the valley. And yeah, I'll definitely be sure to keep an eye out for petroglyphs and any sort of cave formations or anything like that, because that's usually where they are preserved the best. Um, and another place I want to check out is the redwood forest. They have, or not redwoods, but sequoias. They have a forest of giant sequoias here that I'm definitely gonna have to check out. And I think that Yosemite is definitely a place where there could be lots of petroglyphs because this was once home to the Native Americans. And um, also, I do have a theory that maybe these UFOs that we see in the sky, I think they could quite possibly be past Earth civilizations that have left the Earth to move on, and maybe they have some sort of petroglyphs or any sort of remains that are left here in the unknown.
So off the recording of the podcast, you said that you were living in a tent in Yosemite, and so you've been there for the past 3 days. So have you heard of like sort of like any strange knocks or branches falling or even howls too? Because every time I hear something strange, I heard a branch snap in my backyard, and I knew my dogs were inside, and it was kind of weird to hear a snap a branch break because branches don't just break, or unless if there's too much weight. But have you heard anything like that or?
Yes, in fact, I did, Scott. My first night here, actually, I was lying in my bed, it, and I could hear these howling noises outside. Um, I had never heard any type of noise like this before. I don't know if it was an animal or some sort of cryptid, but it's something that I'm going to have to investigate further. And I didn't hear the howling after the first night, but I heard it several times that night. And the thing about Yosemite is it's a vast, vast wilderness, but since it is a national park, there are a lot of people here. So I honestly don't know um, if there would be any Sasquatch in Yosemite Valley, just because there's so many people here and it wouldn't really be the ideal place to hide out if you were a Sasquatch. But on top of that, I mean, they are very, very, very stealthy animals. So I feel like they definitely could be able to hide here if they wanted to. So I'm not going to rule anything out until I do some further investigating.
So do you think that uh with Half Dome excuse me guys, I'm a little bit sick, well not really, but hold on, I'm gonna clear my throat. All right, so do you think that there might be some sort of connection because Half Dome is a very hot spot, for many tourists to go, whether it's to film or take photos. Do you think that might be a hot spot for paranormal things, whether it's EMF reader tests, UFOs, or even Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Dogman? Do you think that there might be some sort of connection between the hot spot and the extra extraterrestrial life?
Yeah, Yosemite Valley is one of the most beautiful places in the world. So I'm sure because this place is so majestic, it's going to attract beings of any kind. So just like how there's a lot of humans here, I think there's going to be a lot of paranormal entities here as well. Just because this place is so magical and majestic that um, I think anything would want to come here. If I was a ghost, I would definitely want to come here. If I was an alien, I would want to investigate just because of the massive rock structures here. Um, and in fact, not last night, but the night before, um, I was trying out my new telescope that I bought, and I was looking up at the stars. And Yosemite has almost no light pollution, so it's ideal for stargazing because you can see every star all over the sky. It's absolutely amazing. But I did see one bright light that was moving really fast. It was too fast to be a plane, but it was too slow to be a shooting star. And it wasn't blinking at all, so it wasn't a plane. And it honestly just looked like a star that was just moving through the sky really fast. And it was moving in a straight line, so I thought that it's probably like a satellite or something. But then it just like disappears into thin air. So I don't really know how to explain that. Um, but I'm going to be investigating that further. If anybody listening could help identify what this thing was, then maybe we could get to the bottom of it. Um, Another thing about Yosemite is that there's not a lot of areas with internet connection. This is one of the only places that I'm at right now that has um, internet connection. So that's why I'm able to do this podcast. But um, it's kind of hurt me for my research. I can't really use the internet as much. I'm going to have to rely on books. Um, so, yeah.
So you're doing the hardcore side of investigating, which we do really thank you for. I'm pretty sure many of our viewers do thank you as well for taking on for the team to, not have the ability that us do back at the lab, to be able to take this into the lab and do our research from our end. And, it's really strange that that area doesn't have cell reception and that what you've seen and heard has been paranormal and definitely a weird phenomenon. And to me, I think that there is a reason why there is no cell reception there, and it's because they probably don't want people sending out text messages, oh, I saw a UFO or I saw a Sasquatch, because they want to try and hide something. And similar to Area 51, excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. But similar to Area 51 and Area S4, how it's so desolate and in the middle of nowhere. Same with Yosemite. Yosemite's in the middle of nowhere. And to me, it'll only make sense that there's a place similar to like Area S4. How how Area S4 is in the side of a mountain. How maybe there might be a UFO hangar in the side of a mountain in the Yosemite Mountains. And to me, I think that might be a possibility with Half Dome, that Half Dome could have extraterrestrial hangars. But honestly, that might be of question because we only know so much of what we can find out and explore. And to me, that's just a theory that I have, that that mountain right there that you're pointing your camera at, which was known as Half Dome, I believe that there might be some sort of extraterrestrial home base right there that could lead to more paranormal investigations. And whether there's a door in the side of a mountain, we might need to take that further investigation to Google Earth from the lab.
Right. And I will definitely bring my EMF reader and scope it out, see if I can find any weird signals, because that would definitely be an indicator of a hidden base or some sort of paranormal entity.
Definitely. And are you going to the top of the mountain, and are you going around on the bottom by any chance?
I'm definitely going to try to hike to the top of Half Dome at some point. My job here, I'm going to be working 6 days a week, like um, during like the daytime. So it's going to be hard for me to do big hikes like that because I only will have one chance a week. But maybe this Monday I will try to do it. Or I think I'm going to start out with some easier hikes, but I'll definitely work my way up to it.
Definitely awesome. And we definitely wish you luck from the lab and from our end here at Paranormal Awakening, and also from Scientific Researchers of the Unknown as well. So I do appreciate you and your work that you are doing to be able to, achieve this understanding on if there is a paranormal base inside Half Dome. And maybe that should be today's topic or question, because it could get people thinking about a lot of things that the government's hiding. After all, we know around June 1st, which should be next month, if I'm correct on that, next month should be the UFO disclosures. That's going to be happening all around the world on the news. And I have been talking to some news sources from people that I know that are in the news industry. And, we got some big things up and coming in this next month. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, make sure you have your cameras out, your phones out. Always be recording, whether that's through a dash cam, or if you see something flying through the sky, just go ahead and pull your camera out. Or even if it's some strange noises, submit it to our Discord. And also, Carson, if you have any strange paranormal phenomenon, make sure to send it my way, or feel free to post it to your channel, and we can get that investigated and looked at by a pro team of paranormal researchers from both sides of our teams. And when we combine our teams together, we can investigate these paranormal phenomenons closer and easier. So I do appreciate the hard work that you have out there with limited abilities.
Thank you, Scott. And I appreciate the work that you're doing back at the lab, researching the internet. What you were just saying seemed really interesting to me. I hadn't heard, since I've been off the grid, I haven't heard about this UFO disclosure that's happening next month. Could you explain more about that?
Yeah, so as Donald Trump, not to get too much into politics, but as Donald Trump, in his presidency, when he was president, he wanted to create a bill that would release all events accordingly of UFO paranormal phenomenon. Maybe Bigfoot and Sasquatch. I hope Bigfoot and Sasquatch is in there too, because I want to know the truth about that. But basically, it was 180 days that the government has to release all of the information that we already know about UFOs, and to basically confirm whether it's true or not. Now, little do I know, will they say it's true or not? I don't know. That's up to them to say next month. But only do we know, we can say this much, that I do hope that they, come out with the truth. And I'm not picking sides here on presidential elections or getting into politics, but when it comes to paranormal phenomenon, it is okay to bring that into question, because when UFOs are now open to the public and many people are going to know about it next month, it's going to be an eye-opening scenery when you see 1,000 UFOs flying around outside your front door, which I think is going to be really awesome. And I really hope to, experience that the way that us researchers already experience it, maybe even further.
Right. And I just want to add on to that, for further evidence that there is information that's being hid from us, is that Donald Trump did say in his final days of being president, he did say that he was given some secret information on the Roswell incident. And what I find interesting about that is that they already said that they released all the Roswell documents, but if the former president is getting information further, that means that there's something that's being hidden. And why is this being hidden? Is it because it really was a UFO that was crashed, or some sort of extraterrestrial being that they recovered? There's a lot that's unknown right now, and us researchers, we have to just get out there and find the truth, because the truth is out there waiting for us to find it, and we just have to go get it.
Yeah, and going off of that, I'm really excited to see what next month has in store for us, because it's about to get intense. So I hope everyone buckles up, grab your popcorn, grab your hot chocolate, and
And
definitely
grab your
enjoy.
memory.
Oh yeah, EMF reader too. Yep, that's correct. And make sure to do your research, submit your videos and photos to us for investigations. I am looking forward to this crazy paranormal phenomenon. And Carson, I hope that you on your end will be able to discover if there is a military base hidden beneath Half Dome.
I will definitely check it out. I'm going to be doing an expedition this coming Monday, and I will be sure to document it and upload it to my channel. And if you want to see that, you can go to srotu.org.
And link to that will be down below in the descriptions, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be promoting his channel, the link to his channel, the link to his website. You guys make sure you to go subscribe to his channel, because he is out there doing the research while we are in the labs. And we got a lot to cover. And when he gets back from his expedition, we will bring him back on the podcast for an interview. So Carson French, once again, from Scientific Researchers of the Unknown, we thank you so much for your hard work and what you are doing for the world, not just for the world, but for other researchers as well.
And thank you, Scott. It's been great to be on the show. And everybody make sure to subscribe to Paranormal Awakening, because I think that this is going to be a great show.
Definitely, and same to Scientific Researchers of the Unknown. And hopefully, when we combine both of our shows, both of our viewers will be able to talk about, paranormal events that are happening around the world. And I think it would be really cool that when both of our channels hit 1,000 subscribers, we can take our live footage to live research on the spot, on the site, on the go. And I think that should be our ultimate goal, is to do live footage on the go and live interviews.
I agree, Scott.
All right, is there anything else that you would like to add before we go ahead and go on to our research?
I just want to say that any of the viewers out there, if you're having trouble believing in the unknown, sometimes, sometimes if you're struggling to find the truth, you just have to keep pushing, because sometimes it's gonna be hard, and not everything in life is gonna be easy. But if you keep believing and you keep researching, you're going to eventually find the truth, and you're going to find the answers you're looking for. So
Awesome.
never give up and never quit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carson French. And thank you to our viewers. If you have stuck around for this long on this podcast, we'll bring Carson French in next week for another episode. Carson French, if you can hear me, thank you so much. I hope we did not lose connection for whatever reason. But anyways, guys, Carson French, take care and stay safe out there on your research. And for you guys out there, do not research, investigate alone. If you are not a pro, because it is unsafe and can get yourself injured. So we thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe.